resource API is experimental. It is very new. And also it has bugs, but I actually have a PR open right now that fixes this exact problem. We're fixing it.
Value is, I have to be here, string or undefined. But when we access the hasValue function with the type assertions, then I hope this works. No, this works not. This is something what this type assertion should do is when this function returns true, then this object you are calling this function on is a resource. Of course it is. But the value property is the type of the value property is overwritten with a signal of t and not signal of t or undefined.
Which is that there's a resource API is experimental. It is very new, and also it has bugs, and this is one of them. I think we kind of got the design wrong a little bit, and this is something that happens when you do APIs as experimental and don't do extensive validation before releasing them, which is kind of intentional, right? We wanted to get it out there and see what people do with it in the wild. But I actually have a PR open right now that fixes this exact problem. So the way that the hasValue tried to narrow the type of value just didn't work. And it's because kind of we had this weirdness of the resource would be like resource of user, but then value would try to return user or undefined. So the undefined came from the type of value, and we are changing it to put the undefined in the type of resource. So when you call the resource function now, you will get a resource that includes the explicit undefined in its type. And then hasValue used to be this TypeScript shenanigans to try to narrow the type of the value property specifically. Now hasValue just says, oh yeah, remove undefined from the type of t. And this works nicely.
Nice.
So just our mistake. We're fixing it.
I love this because I was here. I couldn't remember exactly what Lars had typed to set it all up when he was showing that to us this afternoon. But I was just saying, I don't think you're going to be able to answer that question without having the code in front of you. But you could. You did. That was perfect.
Well, I pulled up
exactly
the code.
What he was talking about.
Yeah. The other commit in this PR, by the way, is preparing resource for something else. Is it this one? Yeah. Actually, no, I think it's in the original commit here. So one of the other reasons we want to make this change is resource today uses undefined as its default value, and you can't change that. And we actually are preparing to support default values in resource. So if you're fetching an array, you can say, I don't want undefined, I want the empty array as my kind of initial value. That's a kind of very common feature request we've started to get. So that's coming soon, and streaming resources are coming soon. Resources that can return multiple values. Yeah, I saw Lars was kind of working on something like that.
Yes, he's going to be so excited. And he's going to be so excited that Ali asked that question. Good job, Ali.
Perfect.
This is one of the things that I really like about the group is like the covering for each other. Like Andy had a question, Lars knew the answer, and then Dominic asked a question, and then Lars was like, oh, that Dominic guy, he's pretty cool. That was a good question. I wanted to know that. It's going really well. Good job, Ali.
Yeah. The other thing we're doing that Lars would be interested in, man,
I know he's going to be so bummed that he's not here.
Yeah, is actually making a proper public API to extend resource to create your own. So that's something we want to support people doing.
Yeah, he'll be the first one trying it out, if I know Lars.